Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Ray J is reportedly hospitalized in Las Vegas with a severe case of pneumonia and reported heart pain, requiring x-rays and an echocardiogram, with updates pending on the results, following a similar serious non-COVID pneumonia battle in 2021. This health scare comes amidst other personal challenges, with sources linking it to being overworked from filming and other business ventures like Raycon. I tell you what's a good sign, fam. I did not see a nasal cannula. So that's pretty good. That means that he's breathing on his own because there was no signs of respiratory distress. That's pretty good. That's good news. I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that at all. Some people were saying that they suspected that the Kardashians had something to do with that, because they've been kind of like, I guess, beefing or whatever. And they were saying that the Kardashians had something to do with it. Everybody jumps to conclusions when a celebrity is hospitalized or ends up dead, right? Or even have a bad luck or goes through any type of rough patch. There always has to be something more cynical at play, right? There has to be something going on. It just looked like a guy that got sick. Maybe he was overworked, whatever, and he had to go in and get checked out. It's as simple as that. But God forbid a celebrity catch a cold. Oh man, they probably injected him with something. And don't let him die. I'm not talking about Ray J, but don't let a celebrity die in general. Don't let a celebrity die. I don't even know if I've heard of a celebrity dying over the last maybe 20 years where somebody did not link it to a conspiracy. Celebrities die. Y'all say it all the time. Y'all always talking about how celebrities just regular people and all this stuff, and they ain't no more special than me and that and that. But when they die, y'all allow these crazy conspiracy theories to run wild. I'll give you a prime example. Tupac. Tupac ain't dead. Tupac ain't dead. Tupac living in Cuba. Tupac in the Caribbeans, and he chilling. Family, besides the fact that I saw a grieving mother and personal friends of his heartbroken, I'm talking about just tore up. Let me tell you how I know for a fact Tupac is dead. I don't have to see a body. I'll tell you how I know for a fact he's dead. Tupac was too proud. He had a chip on his shoulder. He was loud. Ain't no way Tupac could fake his death for 5 minutes. Just when you start believing it, Tupac, got you, motherfucker, I ain't never gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Pac, go off, man. No, man, Pac is dead, man, unfortunately. He's dead. Yeah, man, he dead. The man is dead. Let him rest in peace. There ain't no way Tupac would be alive and he would be able to hide it. Even if they tried to put him in some type of government program, Tupac coming up out of that, man. Witness protection or whatever, he coming up out of that. He's not going to comply. He gonna let you know, I'm here. I'm here, baby. I ain't going nowhere. You can't kill me. What he said about that 5 shots? He took it and smiled, whatever. That's Pac. That's how you know Pac ain't. That's how you know Pac is not alive. Yeah, Pac was. You're gonna put it in your face. But every time something happens with a celebrity, it's always a conspiracy. It has to be a conspiracy. Now, there are conspiracies out there that are plausible, right? For example, Bob Marley. For a while, we heard about the conspiracy, and then came confession, right? When Buddy was on his deathbed, the guy who claimed to have stuck him with some type of carcinogen, he put some type of needle. He said he put a needle in his shoes. The guy, okay, let me back up. So the guy was a journalist, or faking like a journalist, right? He said the government sent him in to befriend Bob Marley. Pretend to need an interview. He's from one of the major magazines and he wanted to interview him. So he said he hung out with Bob Marley, got to meet his family. He met his children, his wife. He got to see how he lived. He smoked with him and everything. Hung out with him, gained his trust. And then he left. Then he came back again. Now, he got a report. I can't remember the meeting place, but the man said he gave Bob Marley a pair of sneakers. And one of those sneakers had a needle in it that was loaded with a cancer-causing agent. And he put him on and he got sick and he died. Dude said that after Bob Marley, he got to know Bob Marley and everything, and he didn't really want to do it, but he had his orders. And he said he killed Bob Marley because the United States saw him as a threat. His voice, he's just a singer. And because of his large following and his influence on people through his music, the FBI deemed him as a threat. And so they killed him. Now that's a story that I absolutely believe. I absolutely believe that. And that story was actually out. Pieces of that story was out before this guy gave his confession. But when he gave his confession, that wrapped it all up. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And we can't even count all of the other conspiracies. One of the biggest conspiracies was JFK. You got the Martin Luther King conspiracy. You got Bobby Kennedy. You got Malcolm. And that ain't even scratching the surface. It's just so many people, so many celebrities, public figures that have gotten wiped out, for political interest. And it's happening all over again now, fam. This is almost like the 60s all over, in terms of people being expendable, for political causes, political gain, right? Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. I don't think the Kardashians had anything to do with Ray J getting sick. Anything is possible, but I seriously doubt that the Kardashians had anything to do with Ray J getting sick. I doubt if anybody had anything to do with Ray J getting sick. I think Ray J just got sick, and maybe he did get overworked and was not taking care of his body, right? Because that happens, when you put a lot of work in. I can relate. That's why I'm always trying to eat as healthy as I can, and I'm on my vitamins on a daily basis so that my food can be my medicine instead of my medicine being my food. That's the way I rock. I think it's repulsive for people to crack jokes on people about situations like this. You talking about people being in the hospital, man. You know, you go to the hospital, especially for something like what he's in there for, you ain't guaranteed to come out. You know, like, and they may not be telling us everything also. They may not be telling us everything. I think he'll be all right. But yeah, I seriously doubt that they're telling us everything. And they shouldn't tell us everything. It really ain't our business. It's the family's business, right? And it's Ray J's business. If he want to share that, he can share that. But it ain't really our business, you know, how serious, you know, his situation is and, you know, the personal details of it. So shout out to Ray J. Salute to a speedy recovery. No more talk.